All right.
A couple of things bother me.
Talk to me.
I want to touch on a couple of things with you. You know, one of them, of course, the beautiful gas ceremony we saw over the weekend, and learning so much from that. I'll get to that in a bit. But just give me 3 minutes. You know, I've been talking to you about when you brought up the Joe Debra Shamu thing.
Yes.
You know, and I've been complaining about the infrastructure that we don't have and how it is hampering the development of people like that. Because you spoke about creating
stars that we can
yes. And you know the thing about Shamu and Joe that made them so great, they were urban legends.
What do you mean?
There was almost a mythological approach because it came from the grassroots. Shamu and his powder and the stories that came with it. Afriki Joe and all the things that came with it. It wasn't just journalists or newspaper or radio at the time that put them there. But it was the communities that they came from. You understand? Shamu was a community like
yes.
The
he was owned by the people.
You know.
They saw him play. They saw him do gutter to gutter. They saw him do all the things.
You know.
So your point is what? That local community engagement.
There's a shift. You see, and that is what we are seeing up to the national level. I'll tell you what's happening. So I've been complaining about the AstroTurfs and where they are. So this weekend, for instance, football that matters most, grassroots football, Division 3, Division 2. Division 2 is starting this weekend. So in my constituency, for instance, or in my area, there are 4 teams, Dansuman teams. Now they're supposed to play in a community park. We don't have one.
In the whole of Dansuman?
No, because the Football Association will tell you that the park that they play on, their live park, is a Sakura park. So you can't play there. So go and play on Astro. Now, these teams who already broke, whatever, now have to pick buses to go and play at Awudome.
That's the closest Astro.
That's the closest.
Can they play at Carl Randolph?
No.
Why?
Because it's natural grass and the community, and nobody has spent money to fix Carl Randolph for Liberty.
Can the teams in Nansuman come together?
Or
is Carl Randolph private property?
It's mixed, yes. It's mixed.
Because so they have to go all the way to Awudome to play on an AstroTurf. And these are grassroots teams.
These are grassroots. So the point is, if Dansuman professionals, there's a team called Dansuman professionals, play their home games at Awudome.
Charlie. Where's the local support?
Where's the local support?
Are they going to walk from Dansuman to Awudome? Is in Kaneshie.
Now you have the teams from Labadi. Some going to play at Aquinas inside the school.
It's far.
What are they doing there? You understand? So you now see the shift that is happening. So there's a team from it just doesn't help the local economies because when dance professionals play at Alive, people sell water.
Yeah.
People do whatever it is.
At least you can see there's a vibrant thing around it.
Now, these people have to go there. So
who's even going to watch at Awudome?
Who's going? Exactly. Who's going to watch the football at Awudome from Dansuman? When I could just open my back door, peep through the window and see the people on the park and then just go. So
what would it take to fix their life park? As an example.
No, it's not even...
Because I still think that every community has at least 1 or 2 Sakura parks. I went to Medina recently and the number 1 park is still there.
Yes.
That park was the park that most football happened. So if you go to Medina, number 1 park is where the number 1 school is. And most of the big games, in fact, those days when House of Folk comes to town, they'll come and play at the number 1 park. So maybe, I think apart from this AstroTurf thing, if we can identify sites where there are parks, the traditional parks, because I know the Kekele Park is now, I don't know whether they've taken over. Some of the parks have been taken over by all kinds of things. But if they can identify one park that can be properly grassed and properly manicured for real football to take place, I think that's what we should be doing.
Exactly, which is what we've been asking for. You see, so that the teams from the communities stay within the communities and grow, where these stars can develop and be picked up. You understand? Rather than now, Dansuman team going to play in Labadi, Dansuman team going to play here, Labadi team going to play in Cantonments, all over the place.
But the other question I wanted to ask was, you see, and let me link it. So you see how the Gamanya's funeral, the committee did an excellent job with the history.
Oh, yes.
Because one of the things we lack in this country is the right sense of history. So, for example, Joe Debra is dead. You'd have expected that, or you expect that the matches they will play this coming weekend, because he died on 27th, which is Friday. You expect that the games that they will play this midweek or this week, there should be black armbands.
There's a sense of
There should be some celebration of Joe Debra. There should be some acknowledgement. The English do it very well with their league. I really hope the FA does something for Robert Etienne and Joe Debra, because Robert Etienne, the reason I'm saying Robert Etienne died, I think, a week ago.
Yes.
And I don't think this weekend it was even mentioned in the games. But I mean, Robert Etienne was a proper footballer.
yes.
You know, and Nathan, maybe your time you were a bit younger, but for anybody who's my age, anybody who was alive, if you were born at least in the early 80s and in the 90s, you were conscious of football.
Yeah.
Robert Etienne was a great footballer.
Yeah.
You know, and he's died, and there's been not a whimper. You know, and it's because the history is not being told properly. So I want to commend the funeral committee of the Ga state for taking the trouble. And Nathan, you should read this. You know, you are a Ga. Your grandfather's name is there.
Is there?
Yeah. In the list of,
Let me-
there's a part on education. There's a part on pioneers. So your grandfather was an education pioneer. So don't even talk about chief of staff.
Oh, yeah.
His pioneering work at Ketasco is listed there. You know? So I really think there should be a deliberate... And let me just read the Robert Etienne story before we get into our relief effort, which Kai has been pioneering. He went to the region this week with some very, very good stories. So this was this story came on October the 23rd. Former Ghanaian international Robert Etienne has been confirmed dead. The ex-player's unfortunate demise was confirmed on Monday, 23rd October. He died having experienced a heart attack while driving to work on Monday. Now, Ebo Electric, as he was affectionately called by fans, was born 17 December 1974 and died aged 48 in London. Known for his nimble footwork and remarkable skills, he burst onto the football scene when he signed for Asante Kotoko while he was still a student at T.I. Hamadia Senior High School in Kumasi. His exceptional talent quickly earned him a place in the heart of football fans in Ghana. He scores lots of goals at Asante Kotoko, with one of the key being the final of the 1990 FA Cup. He was a member of the Kotoko Cup African Cup Championship squad. He made significant impact at Asante Kotoko, scoring numerous goals for the club. One of the most remarkable moments was his crucial goal in the final of the 1990 FA Cup. He was also a valuable member of the Kotoko squad during the African Cup of Nations, African Cup Championship. Etienne's dazzling performance did not go unnoticed by European clubs, who were also keen on signing the young sensation after his outstanding display for Ghana during the Under-21 AFCON qualifiers in Egypt. He eventually made the move to Europe, where he played for clubs in Belgium and Turkey, including Turnhout, Tielen, Lommel, and Dessel. After his European adventure, Etienne went to Asia, where he concluded his career playing for Malaysia's side Sarawak. And throughout his active football years, Etienne's extraordinary dribbling skills left opponents and fans alike in awe. So my question is, so for example, is Robert Etienne in the Ghana Football Hall of Fame?
Which one?
Is there a football museum with the exploits of people like Robert Etienne? And I'm asking this because, you see, there's no way you can motivate a young man to play for his country and die for his country if the country itself does not have a system of rewarding and immortalizing these guys. All right. So he wasn't necessarily the best player of his generation, but he was a really good player.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's a record of how many goals he scored. I don't know if there are photos of Robert Etienne, apart from Ken Bediaku's book, which outlines the record from the 50s to the early 90s. There isn't anything. Okay. So football is not just, and when you say we are promoting foreign leagues, sometimes it's because we don't even have the information. We haven't created a system to celebrate these guys. So Joe Debra is gone. So what are Joe Debra's best goals? How many goals did he score? How did he compare with Shamukwe? What was the extent of their rivalry? What were his low moments? What is his record? We need those things. Yeah. All right. I'm sure there are lots of kids who have no idea who Joe Debra is. And we, the guys in the media, some of the guys, which is why I keep going back to the guy thing. You know, somebody has to take responsibility to right that wrong. Somebody has to take responsibility to say, look, there's so much rich history in Ghana football, and we have to create a proper Hall of Fame. In fact, there should be a TV show on Football Hall of Famers. The champions who made our day, Ablade Kuma, even Ghanaian players who didn't travel abroad. Some of who set our leagues alight. Apart from Robert Mensah, the goalkeeper we all talk about. All right? There isn't a lot. And between you and I, when we start mentioning some of the players who we saw in the 90s, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Even our current team, the coach of one of the teams is Frimpong Manso. Yeah. People don't know what Frimpong Manso did. Emmanuel Ama, Emmanuel Ampia. Okay, these are players in my day. They were the players.
So unless somebody is telling you the stories, nobody will actually...
Safo Jemfi, Thomas Boachi, Frank Amankwa, Frimpong Manso, Michael Osei, then the Hearts Oyi, Ayite Dormon. In fact, there was another Dormon before Ayite Dormon. Then there was, what's the name?
No, there's just a lot of players.
Ezekiel Alamu.
That's your damn thing.
Oh, players. So, and these are I saw, not like Tony Tieku,
And recently,
Usmanu Amadou.
There was Sam Supe also passed away last week, actually. Former House of Folk goalkeeper Sam Supe. Some of them will tell you
Nothing.
perhaps their greatest ever goalkeeper.
Nothing.
So
It's not good. We see when we do that, we denigrate. See, look, we are watching league, but we shouting. Everybody's clapping. A lot of the players don't even know who the hell Bobby Charlton is, but at least they put his picture there, and my kids are watching on TV. All right, but we have our players, and we are not doing anything for them. I think GFA needs to think about setting the history right, starting some sort of system to reward Ghanaian players. Honestly, Godfred, honestly.
It's finding a system to keeping the history of the game alive properly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a personal responsibility on the clubs then
Mm-hmm.
as well. Because nobody can tell the story of Joe Debra better than Kotoko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that is where he spent most of his best days.
So
nobody can tell
who is the Kotoko historian?
That would be Kembediako.
Ken Bediako is the Ghana football historian.
No, but Kembediako is Kotoko.
So why have they commissioned him to do the work?
I don't know.
Maybe they should.
Yes.
A club of the stature of Kotoko, a club of the stature of Hearts. Like when I go to Hearts, and I hope the new thing they are building will have that. Because when you go to Hearts Secretariat, there should be a room with pictures. There should be a place where there's history. There should be a place where the video recordings are playing. The Kwame Nkrumah Museum is not just for... We should do things like this.
Yes,
so if I take my kids and say, okay, you support Hearts of Folk. Why do we support Hearts of Folk? Then you say, okay, this is the league we won in this year. This is the way we won Africa Cup. This is what we did against Club Africain. This is how we beat Esperance. Then that's how you build it. Because then our kids will have no history. Yeah. All they will have is Man U and Liverpool and Chelsea. And you don't want that. You don't want that.
That's what they have at the moment.
So I want to urge Togbe Apede for the Heart side. I want to urge the people in Kotoko and the teams to find a way of making us proud of the team beyond just Hearts Kotoko game.
Even our own Olympics. Olympics has fantastic.
Yeah, great.
The history of Accra Great Olympics is so unique.
And the people,
but who's telling the story?
Well, it's a good question. The people behind Olympics now include some very good historians, including our former sports minister.
He should get to work.
Who gave us... that man is a walking history of Ghana boxing.
He should give us the walking history of Olympics too.
A former minister of sports. I think you are right. He needs to do something about Olympics history. Because, a lot of kids don't know why Olympics generates the level of fans it generates.
Yeah.
Yes.
They call them the Wonder Club.
Yeah.
Why Olympics and Hearts don't get along.
Why
At
they
all.
don't get along.
And why they call them Wonder Club? In my day, they call them Wonder Club because they will always find a way. So Olympics will be going 2-0 down. They will find a way of coming back. Even when they went to Africa, they will always find a way to come back. And there are some really good players. Olympics have some very skillful players, Before Gapo came, Olympics was a very good team, which produced some very local stars. Don't forget that Olympics was the original Accra team.
Yep.
Do you get it? A lot of people don't even know this.
Yeah.
And then for some communities which had teams that have disappeared, like soccer missionaries, Asimfos, what happened to that team?
We really
Ebusuya Dwarfs.
Yes. Now, Sambro Butlers, Ebusuya Dwarfs.
The two Takrady teams, Second D Takrady, there was 11 Wise, Second D, 11 Wise, and Hazakes. All right. Hovoradep, Mausi Dake.
Yes.
All right. Now,
Edem is the official historian.
There was a team, RTU.
Edem was a good one.
The difference between, for many years as a child, the difference between Bofakwa Tano and BA United. BA United was always Sunyani And because they were sharing the Sunyani Park,
The coronation.
I didn't know that Bofakwa was actually from Tano. Okay. Then there was a Jandu Park,
That was
Sekendi Jandu Park. Then there was a team in Kumasi called Kumapim.
Yes.
There was a team called Kumapim. For a long time, they did
Kumasi
very well.
Cornerstones.
And then there was New Plan
Corners.
Stars.
Corners.
That disappeared.
So there was Cornerstone, there was Kumapim, and there was New Plan Stars. All of this history is gone. I really want to urge Kurt and his team as well. So you are saying the class must take responsibility.
The clubs must take responsibility. The FA must take responsibility. But also, more importantly, keep the communities engaged. And at the moment, like I was, my initial point that led us to having this conversation, I understand the FA wants football to be played on good pitches. I cannot take that away from them. But ultimately, Division 2 and Division 3 football is community football.
Yes.
Keep the football in the community. Now, they are saying that the pitches are not good. Why are the pitches not good? So the players have to go and play on Astro, which you've already indicated are not the best anyway. And two, most of the Astros are not standard size. They look nice, but they are not standard size. But we make do with them. So I'm urging the Greater Accra Qatar chairman Samuel Abu Abriem. I know you want the football to look good, but rather let us put pressure on the municipal authorities, the district authorities to clean up some of the Sakura pitches. Why, Aloski, imagine that Indafa Park today does not host Division 2 games.
Is there grass on it?
It does not need it.
It needs grass.
No, who's going to maintain the grass? The Kolebu Teaching Hospital want to sell the land. They tried to sell the land 3 times. The hospital itself has tried to sell the land 3 times in the past 2 years.
It's terrible.
One into a funeral home,
But who belongs?
one into a mall.
But who owns the land?
It's the Kolebu Teaching Hospital property.
Isn't there a way the community can buy it off them?
We don't know.
Maybe the assembly can say, because in Nafa Park has so much history, let's put grass on it, let's create a mini stadium there, and let's pay off Kolebu for it.
But that is what the municipality is for. Because they would understand that. Because if Kolebu owns the land, but the municipality can come to an arrangement with Kolebu and say, look, Indafa Park is
there's too much history on
this
Indafa Park
for you to turn it into a funeral home.
It's terrible.
So we are coming to an agreement. We are grassing it. We'll put a fence around it. Still games can be played here and keep it inside. You know? But they really, really need to keep the community teams within the communities. Otherwise, what they are doing is they are doing the same things that they've done to the professional teams to the community teams. In 2 or 3 years, those community teams will not exist as businesses. Because Dansuman team playing at Awudome.
It won't work.
Awudome team playing at Adenta. Apenkwa team playing at Labadi.
That's the easiest way to destroy it. Well, a few names before we go. So Robert Eshen was a boy electric. Thomas Bachi was called the Zion Train. And Joe Debra was called Afriki Joe. Safu Jemfi was known as the Black President. And the listener says, this is what made me support Kotoko. Meanwhile, Kumapim produced Yaosechi and Abedituga. Abedituga. 2 players I liked. There was a guy called Abdul Mijima.
Yes.
And Alaji Bello. Abdul Mijima. And then there was a very tough defender called Khalilu Dramani.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know why you know these
Khalilu
things?
Dramani,
I'll tell you why. Outside of just your natural love. Back then, most of these people were on Ghana television.
Yes.
Sports
Our game
highlights.
is no longer on Ghana television.
So there was
Times.
Sports highlights.
Sporting
There was
Times.
Sports beat.
And there was Sporting Times.
And
Sunday
then,
afternoon.
and then the newspapers. Indeed, in fact, I'll tell you something. There was also club newspapers.
Yes.
So the people called Kotoko Sponsor. For a long time, Kotoko was sponsored by a battery company called Exide. So I remember that you buy Kotoko Sponsor. My brother liked Kotoko a lot. And there were actually club papers, which people used to so Charlie, so much has happened, guys.